Hey, this is John. So, about 2.5 or 3 years ago, I made a video that was entitled Boondock Camping. Safety and security is up to you. And that's still true, but what I realized is when I made that video in northern Florida, that video is true only to the East Coast. Or let's say the minute you start getting west of the Mississippi, things change. Okay? And I just discovered that because even though we live in New Mexico, we've never been boondock camping out here before. Until now. We just got back from a 2 week loop around the state, and there is so much different going on out here, so much other stuff to worry about, that I've actually taken notes. For the first time ever, in all my 250 videos, I've got notes. So this is the introductory part of this video, and all the other subsequent stuff related to this are going to be other videos that I'm going to tag off of this one. Meaning, if let's say you're coming from Canada and you're not going to carry a gun, skip the gun video, okay? If you're American Indian and you're going camping, skip the Indian video, okay? This is what I'm saying. You don't have to watch all of them, but I encourage you to. So what are the things we're going to talk about? Well, as I mentioned, the idea of carrying a gun for one's safety and security is, well, it was important to me out here, and so I was curious as to where actually I could and could not carry a gun. And I figured out pretty quickly that there's all kinds of land out here. And here's what I mean. You've got Indian tribal land, you've got the Indian Nation, and you've got the Indian Reservation. All three of these are potentially different areas where you can and cannot carry a gun. Then you have the Department of Defense Army Corps of Engineers land. Then you have Department of Energy land. You have federal national parks, federal national forest, federal national wilderness. Then you have the state lands, the state conservation lands, the state wildlife management areas, and the state parks. Then you have the BLM lands. You have the BLM regular lands. You have the BLM conservation areas, and you have the BLM camping areas. All of these places that I just mentioned have different regulations as to what you can do and can't do in those areas to protect yourself. That's going to be a subsequent video later. Okay? Now the next thing is, the people that you encounter along the road out here in the Southwest are not like people you will encounter anywhere else. So you'll be treated differently by the Indians. You'll be treated differently by the locals. You'll be treated differently by the Mexicans. Then you will be by the white people. And then there are the meth heads and what I like to call the opportunistics. Okay? And it's a whole different group. And if you ask one for help, you may not get it. If you can ask another one for help, you may get robbed. So I provide some input onto dealing with that. And then, in addition to the people, the animals. Now, in Florida, I was concerned primarily with the people harassing us, and out here, it's primarily the animals. Okay? And of the animals, you've got javelinas. You got oryx. You know what those are? Those were imported from Africa. They're vicious. Look them up. You got wild boar. You got coyote. You got bears. And even wolves. And I didn't think that was possible. But they reintroduced wolves into the Gila Wilderness area of western New Mexico. And there are wolves there that you need to be aware about and worry about. And then finally, packs of wild dogs. And I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but I've encountered pretty much all of those except for the wolves while we've lived here in New Mexico. So that'll be a separate video. And I will discuss how to determine where to camp and when to camp and things of that nature. But I've got some homework for you now, all right? What I need you to do is get your concealed carry permit. That'll be one thing that we'll discuss. You should have a concealed carry permit if you're going to carry a gun, especially if you're going to carry a gun in another state for self-defense, okay? If you don't have a concealed carry permit, you probably shouldn't be carrying a gun for self-defense, either in your vehicle or in your RV, regardless, okay? To me, that indicates bad judgment. Second thing, if you use a computer or a laptop or a tablet or a flat phone or some sort of other electronic device, go and download Google Earth. Okay? So you can download Google Earth for your top-down navigation and looking at the terrain and the roads and stuff like that. So you got Google Earth there. Now, the reason I wanted you to download Google Earth is because if you do a Google search, separate topic, obviously, but do a Google search and look for an overlay of BLM and other state lands that you can apply to Google Earth. So by that I mean you're going to have your Google Earth, your map, and you'll be able to overlay onto it this thing that you're going to download that will show you where the BLM lands are and the Indian lands and the state lands and what have you. That will be a tremendous help later on. So that's your homework for now. Leave your comments down below, and I will, as I said, I will churn out these videos in a timely manner. I just don't want to take up, I don't want to turn some big 45-minute monstrosity out that nobody has any interest in watching. Anyway, so talk to you in a few minutes. Shelco for it. Thanks, bye.